All right, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General YAHANNA. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Our brothers and sisters should trust each other, then they should trust this, you know what I'm saying, these other nations. Right. All right, so go ahead and read Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10 for me.
Another one come. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy.
Right.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Right. So never trust your enemies, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord calls us to be separate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't trust your enemy and also be, you know, separate at the same time. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't invite white people into your congregation and be separate. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and expound on that.
Add on that, you know, one thing I have to do is force you to ask yourself a question. How many times have you trusted information simply because it came from another nation instead of the same information coming from your brothers and sisters? You know, you get a certain information that comes from a Black person, Hispanic person, or Native American person. You know, you kind of double check it or whatever, but when a white or Asian person give you the same information, you don't question it at all. And then sometimes their information don't be spot on versus one of our own who might have read up on it. Their information is more spot on. And you like, man, you did tell me, but you know, this other person who's not your brother or sister gave you information on that particular topic, and they was way off. You know, you have to learn to trust your people. You know, right. We read. You know, this ain't the slavery days where ain't nobody read up on them. We are well educated and up to speed on how things go. Right. Now, of course, you want to double check your facts and everything, but you know, if you not sure about what your brother or sister saying, ask them to like, hey, can you show me where you seen that from or where you got that from? Do you have a source? I guarantee you they can pull it up right on the spot from these smartphones. These little computers can pull up anything.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I could add, you know, you have to, white man, it's always watered down. You know what I'm saying? Like I was looking at the Creole Bible, the Bible in Creole, Bibla, and you know, most of the scriptures don't even match up. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got, you know, Leviticus, I'm saying in the book of Leviticus, it'll say, thou shalt not live with mankind, you know what I'm saying, as you lay with a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's an abomination. What it says in the Bible in Creole, it'll say, you know what I'm saying, it's like it'll say being a male pig, as if you were like, you know what I'm saying? It's all kind of messed up. It'll say being you're a male pig if you lie with a man as a woman. God doesn't want you to do this. They frame it to where it's not even a commandment. Like even like in Revelations, you know, Revelations 13 and 10, it says, if you lead a man into captivity, you shall go into captivity. Right. And in the Creole Bible, it'll say, you know, a man should go to prison. He should just go to prison. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all kind of messed up, you know, and we already know that by the example of, you know what I'm saying? We got King James Version, then we got the New International Version. Then you got the you know what I'm saying, and more on top of that, you know what I'm saying? White man is the devil.
White man is the devil because, I mean, I don't care what that Creole Bible say, it's in a nigga spirit to say, I ain't going to jail or I ain't going back.
Right.
Niggas ain't trying to be locked up.
But, you know, Salakia, that's just an example of
right.
You know what I'm saying, how the white man is such a devil. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important that we learn our own language. You know what I'm saying? Which is the Hebrew. So if we learn that, we'll know exactly what the Torah, you know what I'm saying, says.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's in our language. It goes with it resonates with our spirit. Yeah, if a man could go to prison, he should just go to prison. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't say, hey, you know, if you lead a man into captivity, you should go into captivity. It doesn't say that at all. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and get me Judith 5:1. Judith. Yeah, in the Apocrypha. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the it's towards it's that way. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? These other nations know, man. Other nations know who we are as a people, man. They know, you know what I'm saying, from the beginning who we are. Even, you know what I'm saying, even today, you know what I'm saying, all other nations know who we are. Right. So if you could read that.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5, verse 1. Then was it declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur,
right,
that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passages of the hill country.
Right. So it was given a report that the Israelites were on top of a hill country and they were prepared for war against Nebuchadnezzar. The captain was what was his name? Holofernes, something like that.
Holofernes.
Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
And had laid impediments in the Champagne countries.
Good. Keep going.
Keep going. Verse 2, wherewith he was very angry and called all the princes of Moab and the captains of all the princes and the captains of Ammon and all the governors of the sea coast.
Right. So he was bringing other nations together. He brought you know what I'm saying, the nation of Moab, Ammon, the Japanese, together to discuss this on what's going on. So keep going.
Come. Verse 3. And he said unto them, tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is.
Right. So he's like, who are these people who dare, you know what I'm saying, be prepared to go to war? Because before this, Nebuchadnezzar had declared that he was a god. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, who are these people? You know what I'm saying, you Canaanites, tell me who are these people? Go ahead.
That dwelleth in the hill country.
Right, that dwell in the hill country. Go ahead.
And what are the cities that they inhabit? And what is multitude? And what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is their power and strength? And what king is set over them, or captain of their army? Right.
So who are these people? How big is their army? And you know what I'm saying? Where is their power, their strength? You know what I'm saying? How do they become are they a mighty army? And if they are, where do they gather their strength? You know what I'm saying? What motivates them to even go against us, you know, in the hill country? And most of the, you know, because this was when Nebuchadnezzar, he was making war with all other nations, you know what I'm saying, proclaiming himself to be a god. So he just was going around, you know what I'm saying, taking land, you know what I'm saying? And the Israelites decided not to bow down before him. They decided to go to war. So go ahead.
Verse 4, and why have they determined not to come and meet me more than all the inhabitants of the West?
Right. So he was like, how are these people, you know what I'm saying, are they, you know, how have they not came to see me? You know what I'm saying? I got this huge army. I got all this might. How are these people not come to see me? You know what I'm saying? Do they even fear me? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 5. Then said Then said Ashur, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, Let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant.
Right. So the captain of the sons of the Japanese, the Ammonites, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm gonna now tell you the answer, you know, the truth of the matter about these people. Go ahead.
And I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people,
Right.
which dwelleth near thee, and inhabiteth the hill countries. And there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant.
Right. So he's about to tell, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, information on what he knows, you know what I'm saying? He's making a report, you know what I'm saying, the captain of the Ammonites to Nebuchadnezzar's captain. You know what I'm saying? He's about to give a report on what he knows and what he, you know what I'm saying, has seen about the Israelites. Now jump down to verse 11.
Okay. Verse 11, just to update you, this is the book of Judith from the Apocrypha, chapter 5, verse 11.
Right.
Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them and brought them low with the laboring in brick and made them slaves.
Right. So he said, yeah, the Israelites, you know what I'm saying, they were in captivity under the king of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And the king of Egypt dealt harshly with them. He dealt subtly. He was like he dealt slick with them. He didn't want them to go and praise their God. You know what I'm saying? Every time the Jews wanted to go and do something for the Lord, the Pharaoh, he was like, we need to work these people harder. You know what I'm saying? So keep going.
Verse 12. Then they cry unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues. So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? We had cried to the Lord about what we were going through. You know what I'm saying? Same thing we're doing today. You know what I'm saying? If enough of our people came together and we cry out to the Lord, it's gonna be the same thing as Egypt. And said we'll be out of this captivity, man, because the Lord would have heard our cry. You know what I'm saying? So not only did, you know, like the scriptures say, we cried unto our God, man. You know what I'm saying? And he smote, you know what I'm saying, all the land of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? The Lord put all them plagues upon Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And so much so that the Egyptians, you know, Pharaoh couldn't take it no more. You know what I'm saying? So he finally said, you know what I'm saying? Get these people about. You know what I'm saying? Get these people up out of here. All right. Go ahead.
This is a testimony to the spirit of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now, as I said earlier, the spirit of the Negroes is I'm not going into captivity or I'm not going back into captivity. And what we just read, they was out of captivity and seeing other nations within their surroundings and prepared for war. And we are such a peculiar people. We do everything so smooth. No people, other nations have no choice but to notice. And when they notice, they gather the other with our other enemies and be like, man, who are they?
Right.
You know, what's their background? Where they come from? What they doing here? Why they ain't come talk to me? If they such cool people, why they haven't come and talk to me? And lo and behold, you know, it's like, nah, man. Their backstory says that they cried up to a God that really loves them so much that he plagued their enemies, and their enemies had enough of it and kicked them out. Like, imagine what they saying about us today. Till this day, you go over to Japan or something like that,
right,
and they see you and they're happy for your business. But when you leave, I guarantee you they're disgusting. Like, man, these black people don't know their history. They don't know how great they are.
Right. I mean, that's so true, man. Like everybody knows who we are except us.
Us.
You know what I'm saying? So keep going with the story. We gonna see.
Okay, come. Verse 13. And God dried the Red Sea before them. Verse 14.
Right. So the Lord dried the Red Sea. I'm saying now, not only did Moses, he split the sea and he dried it. You know what I'm saying? So when he split it, you know what I'm saying, they'd have a dry path to walk on. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And brought them to Mount Sinai, and Cade's barn, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 15. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength all them of Esabon. And passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country.
Right. So we were going through trying to, you know what I'm saying, have some land of our own. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord was on our side. So we were able to just, you know what I'm saying, mow any nation down. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing that could stop us.
It's like it. That's also the history of us today, because we're fighting so hard just to have our own. And it ain't even like 12 acres in a mule or nothing like that. We fight just to have our own car,
right,
our own house. Hell, we want to get petty with it, our own cat, dog. We just fight to have our own. We just want our own. But, you have to go through so much war, whether it be spiritual or physical, to get our own. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's because that's how we are, We're a nation of warriors. You know what I'm saying? So everything we do, you know what I'm saying, we're going to fight for it. You know what I'm saying? Like life is a fight, right? You know what I'm saying? Life is war.
It's like it, if I may. But notice how in the midst of trying to fight for our own, never have we stepped on anybody's toes and try to take what was theirs. That's also something magical about us. People always try to take from us. We never try to take from people.
Unless the Lord tells us to.
Unless the Most High tells us to.
Then we taking it.
Right. So we just waiting on that order.
Right. If the Lord say take this land, we gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? When you start acting outside of what the Lord say to do, then it's your ass. You know what I'm saying? Then you know what I'm saying, you in trouble. Because you gotta follow orders. Because if the Most High didn't tell you to take that land and destroy the people in it, then you know what I'm saying, you off doing your own thing. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna reap the cost of that. But keep going.
This is verse 16. And they cast forth before them the Canaanites and the Perizzites and Jebusites and the Shemites and all the Gergesites, Salakia, and they dwelt in that country many days.
All right, so we was killing up, Asians and Africans left and right. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when we found our way into the hill country. Right. So keep going.
Verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hated iniquity was with them.
Right. So he was like, when they sinned not, you know what I'm saying, they prospered. We prospered as a people when we didn't sin against the Most High.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's when, you know what I'm saying, because the Lord was with us. You know what I'm saying? When the Lord's with you, you're going to prosper. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know what I'm saying, just, you know what I'm saying, even being in the truth, you know what I'm saying, you're still going to prosper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like my life got better now that I'm in the truth. You know what I'm saying? It gets harder because you know, there's things you got to put away. but it also got better. I'm saying now, I'm part of a family, people who treat you like you're, a real family member, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Not only that, opportunities come, you know what I'm saying? Like more job opportunities came, you know what I'm saying? More women came, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you could still prosper, you know what I'm saying? Just, most people have this fantasy that, you know what I'm saying, now that you're with the Lord, now you just gonna have a messed up, poor life. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it is. It's not always like that. You know what I'm saying? Most of us was doing bad before the truth. You know what I'm saying? Now that we're in the truth, a lot of us are doing better. So it just depends. All right. So keep going.
Okay. Verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies.
Right. So when we departed from the way the Lord wanted us to go, you know what I'm saying? When we went against the Most High, we were destroyed in battles. You know what I'm saying? We were led into captivity. You know what I'm saying? Our temple that we, you know what I'm saying, built, you know what I'm saying? All of our treasures and our menorahs and things like that, you know what I'm saying? The ark and all these things, you know what I'm saying? He was either taken or destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Because we started doing things of our own accord. You know what I'm saying?
Like it.
Go ahead.
And that just point out how important it is for you to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Speak up. Speak up. That's important. That shows how important it is for you to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Because it's not an individual thing when you go down. Your whole family, the whole nation go down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't one person went into captivity or destroyed. It was the whole army, the whole nation. So that's why we depend on each other to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because when you get into this truth and you learn how severe it is to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, you just realize that our future is in each other's hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to really take an initiative to rule your spirit, be disciplined, and just get with the program. Because that's the only way you're going to see the kingdom.
Right.
So, I mean, and these other nations already know it. They see it right here. They ran down the whole history when it was asked for. So they knew if you sin, oh, it's game time. We got them.
Right.
But if you stand strong, it's like, man, we can't touch them.
Right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the example that this is showing. Like scripture say, there's nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? So what we're doing, even today, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We stopped following what the Most High said. You know what I'm saying? We stopped doing the laws. You know what I'm saying? So we've been led into captivity. You know what I'm saying? Our cities were taken. You know what I'm saying? Everything we had as a nation is now is gone. You know what I'm saying? It's finished.
It's like,
go ahead.
So really, if you put your heart is where your treasure lies. So you need to put all your heart into his words and really get to know what's being asked of you as a brother or a sister to unite and strengthen up our nation.
Right. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 19. But now are they returned to their God and are come up from the places where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolated.
Right. So now we You know what I'm saying? It says we return to our God. You know what I'm saying? And we, you know, from where we were scattered, just like how it's going to happen all over again. We were scattered from, you know what I'm saying? We're scattered everywhere on this planet. And you know what I'm saying? Just as it happened back then, how we all came together and started doing the laws again, it's going to come, you know, it's going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? We're going to come from where we were scattered and start doing the laws again and get set back right into Jerusalem, where it all started. You know what I'm saying? Where the story first began. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like we going in one big circle, man. And we just keep going in that same circle. You know what I'm saying? But when Christ come back, we're going to stop doing that same thing again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's finally going to stop. And then we're going to be doing something else. And we're going to be taking over planets and such. Go ahead.
And with that, you know, it just goes with something that them Edomites used to quote in them history classes. Those who don't study history is doomed to repeat it.
Right.
And that's been going on since the beginning. When we didn't understand the common factor of our problems and everything, we just kept on going through it, kept going through it. So we here for a reason,
right?
To establish these laws, statutes, commandments. And you know, we scattered all over the world. The school is, and we're on the internet. You know, we on. You see, we have classes on these social medias and everything. We're trying to reach all corners of the earth, so there can be no one who said, "I did not know." We're here for a reason.
Right.
The school's here for a reason. We ain't trying to oppress nobody. We trying to get everybody right. You know, it's a righteous thing to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. And just think, if it was a strong requirement back then, why would it not be a strong requirement now? Why would anything be watered down to where, like, okay, well, you just have to do some of these, not all these laws, statutes, commandments. No, you still have to do everything, and they're not grievous. They're not going to cause you any harm, and they're not going to make you. I guess I could go with lame, but you know, you would be lame to a bunch of wicked people.
Well, Salakia, I just wanted to add something to like how you said, if you don't know your history, then you're bound to repeat it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like most of us, you know what I'm saying, especially when we were out in the world, you know, all we knew about our history was slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's like we didn't know what happened before slavery. And then it's like you come to find out our history has always been in this Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's been right in front of us the whole time. And people been, you know what I'm saying, people study our history. You know what I'm saying? You got all kinds of religions on our history that we don't even know it's our book, our history.
You know, you just hit another gold mine. Till this day, a lot of our people still don't know that the Dark Ages were called the Dark Ages because we were the ones in rulership. A lot of people still don't know that till this day. We was ruling. We the salt of the earth. Don't nothing happen without our say so. It don't matter if we in captivity. If we find it cool, everybody else gonna find it cool. That's just what it is. If we say this is what's gonna make us strong, everybody else gonna try to find some way to patent it and make it their own idea. That's going on with our hair. You know,
right?
A certain hairstyle that sister's been rocking for years, and now one white girl decided to rock it, and she created a new style.
Right? Like,
come on, man.
Like how Miley Cyrus started twerking, and now twerking is the thing.
I mean, forget Uncle Luke, huh?
Uncle Luke. Right.
Everybody know about Uncle Luke in the wicked days, man. Everybody know about Uncle Luke. That's like that's off top.
Yeah, man. Read that verse one more time. Man.
That was verse 19. What you con out of what con?
Yeah.
This is the book of Judith in the Apocrypha, chapter 5, verse 19.
All right.
But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
Right. So like how I said before, we're going to come back to doing these laws again, man. You know what I'm saying? The same way that this happened, it's going to happen again. Keep going.
Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Right.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. They wait.
Right. So right. Like how you said, they're waiting. Not only that, they're watching us. You know what I'm saying? This whole world watches us. Everything we do. You know what I'm saying? If they see niggas getting together and start doing the laws, they know it's their end is coming soon. Go ahead.
If one of them Asian people back in the day realized a brother took a liking to his daughter, it's game on. We gonna use her as bait, and hopefully he'll take her as a wife, which is a sin, and we could just destroy them.
Right.
They plotting.
Right. They're gonna use any kind of way to get you to eat pork. That's why pork is in everything. You know what I'm saying? It's in the Jiffy cornbread. It's in candy, the gelatin stuff. It's everywhere. I
loved gummy worms, and now I can't eat them.
That's how it be, man.
The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right. You know what I'm saying?
Gummy worm.
You can't eat your gummy worms. You can't eat nothing, man, because it all got pork in it. So as long as you eating pork, they know they can still get at you. They can still do whatever.
Jello.
Right, Jello.
I like sweets.
You know what I'm saying?
And they just killed it.
All right.
As long as they don't put it in the ice cream.
Shit, they got.
I'm sorry. The look you gave me.
They got niggas licking ice cream and Asian. What's that? What's going on? Somebody going around licking ice cream.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard some Asian lady. She started pissing in the ice cream machine and all kinds of crazy shit. Man.
What is going on, man? And that is not in our culture. That's not what we do. I mean, come on, man. Your mama caught you doing that. That's not a whooping. That's a fight. That's a fist fight. Go ahead. Right. If she catch you eating out of the carton with the spoon, not put it in the bowl, that is a fist fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Licking the ice cream and putting it back. Yeah. I mean,
it's gonna be a minute before I get me another Bluebell ice cream.
And shout out to Taliente.
Yeah, whatever. And then
oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how you know what I'm saying, how diabolical the white man is, man. You know what I'm saying? Got our people confused. You know what I'm saying? Going around licking ice cream and thinking it's okay to eat pork and shrimp, you know, shellfish and all this, man. That's why they're watching us, but they want you, they pushing it on you.
I mean, crawfish boil is the biggest thing on our people. You know what I'm saying?
So they got to push it on you so they can continue to dominate you. You know what I'm saying? So they can always stay on top, because the second we stop doing all this mess, the second the Lord is on our side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And all we got to hit is what's it called? The quota.
Probably
that 144,000.
Salaki probably baited our women with crab legs, put it on a string and just threw it.
But it
and just kept tugging it along.
Right.
Oh man.
So go ahead and keep where you at 20.
Yeah, I was at 20. So
All right, now go. Yeah, read 21.
Con out of one con. This is the book of Judith, chapter 5, in the Apocrypha, verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Right. So if the Lord is, if you don't see no error, or you know what I'm saying, they all doing the commandments and don't even mess with these people.
It's like,
Go ahead.
translate for niggas. If you don't see them messing up, leave their ass alone.
Right.
Let them be.
Right. Leave these people alone,
We
man.
want no smoke.
Right. Don't even mess with them, because their Lord gonna be with them, and you're gonna be check these people out here or something. They was all in the back and stuff. Yeah, so you know, yeah, so you know what I'm saying, like, you know, that's why it's important that we keep the laws, man. You know what I'm saying? It's important we keep these laws so we know, you know what I'm saying, not to ever go back into slavery again.
It's crucial.
You know what I'm saying? Give me Psalms 83, 2 through 5.
83, 2 through 5.
Yeah. Well, actually, give me go to verse 3
83
and 3.
and 3. Con out of one con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Right.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right. So they've taken crafty counsel, man. You know what I'm saying? They're looking to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? They're looking to, like how we said in Judith, how the scripture said in Judith. You know what I'm saying? If there's an error in these people, go ahead and demolish them. Make war with them, because their Lord ain't going to be with them. Their God, you know what I'm saying, is not going to be with these people. So you just go ahead, make war with them, and demolish them.
So I can
Go ahead.
crafty counsel, always watching, you know,
Right.
these calls on barbecues or
Right.
just anything. You witness that today. You get called on for anything. Oh man, the music was too loud. You know, anything to get the laws on a Black, Hispanic, or Native American. Why are they so interested in what we do?
That's right.
Why are we so much of a threat? You know, our presence alone scare people. We don't have to do nothing. If you get too many Black people on a corner, something has to happen. Some in their scary minds, we're planning on shooting up the block or blowing it up. And that's funny because when you watch the news, we ain't doing none of that.
Right.
We're not the ones shooting up the schools. I mean, if it were, which it took that was a long time ago when that happened. If we were the ones shooting up school, we weren't shooting up innocent people. We were just trying to get the one person that pissed us off, not trying to kill everybody. But you haven't heard nothing like that from us in a long, long time. We haven't blown up any buildings, you know. So why are we so much a threat? We get shot up just for pulling out IDs, something we was asked for.
Right. Right. I mean, we get shot, you know, pulling out your phone and whatnot. They confuse it for a gun. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like how Zechariah 7:11 said, you know what I'm saying, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. I'm saying that's what these other nations are gonna do. They want to destroy you. They want to slay you and hold themselves not guilty.
It's like they doing that today.
Right.
You know, Sandra Bland, you know, still no justice for her. And I expect for you to not even seek it because they're going to fight that till the end of times. We didn't kill her. Eric Garner,
Right.
you know, all these different names. And it ain't nothing new. That's something that's been going on. The only thing new is cameras. And even with it showing clear as day, they ain't do nothing. They were murdered. They still hold themselves not guilty. And next come excuses. Well, maybe if he didn't wear a hoodie, or maybe he didn't move this way, or if he would have just complied, if he would have stayed seated, if he would have stayed standing. It's like nothing we do is good enough.
That's right.
It's always an excuse. How about just gonna tell the truth? Well, if he just wasn't a nigger, things would be better. I mean, seriously. If you just quit being black, if you could just turn your color off for 1 second while the cop is talking to you, then everything would be fine. But you didn't do that.
Right. I'm saying they've taken crafty counsel, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Con on one con. This is verse 4. Book of Psalms, chapter 83. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. So they said, let us cut them off, man. I'm saying that they don't even know, you know what I'm saying? Let us cut them off from being a nation. Let's destroy them so much. And let's get rid of their whole nationality. Let's cover it up. Let's make sure they never become a nation or in power again.
It's like it, man.
Go ahead.
How, for those of us that are in the school, how many times have you tried to preach the gospel and let somebody, our own brothers and sisters, know that they are Israelites and they laugh in your face? It's hard to tell somebody they're Israelite. It's hard to tell somebody about these 12 charts. And even if they don't laugh, they'll say, yeah, I know. But, you know, how could you know and not really understand your history or what's going on right here?
Right.
Everybody knows who we are, except it's starting to come out in these articles.
Right.
The blacks are the real Jews.
That's right.
I mean, we're not the only ones saying it now. You know, I hate to say it, but now that a white man or Arab man or Asian man is starting to say it, maybe you will start believing it and try to hurry up and get on the good foot.
On the good foot.
You know what I'm saying? You are special people.
Right.
And it's hard spreading that. You know, you are a chosen bunch of people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that God loved more than anybody on this world. And you was here to be an example of rulership and show people how things go.
Oh, okay.
All right. Shalom, Lord of Christ.
Hey,
If you like, come on in. Most High in Christ. She's got 3 students, or should I say just
just keep going. Yeah, read verse 4 again.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. So they said, let's cut them off, man. You know what I'm saying? Who are the real Israelites? You know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely not those so-called Israelis, you know what I'm saying, that's in Israel right now. You know what I'm saying? Because they call themselves Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Ish meaning something like a Jew. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not the actual Jew. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. What's going on is something like stolen identity. You know what I'm saying? Our people don't know who we are because they've cut us off from being a nation. You know what I'm saying? We don't even remember from remembrance.
Right.
You know, so that's what's kind of going on. It's just stolen identity. You know what I'm saying? I got another scripture for that, but go ahead.
And then they replace our true identity with our enemies because they look like us, I guess, so to speak, which
Right.
is Africans, and we are not Africans. And then, if anything, if you really keep it real with yourself, if you paid attention to bone structure, the way we're built and the way them Africans is built is totally different.
Right.
Totally different. They nose be a little bit longer, and their cheeks are pointier, and they don't all have the thick lips that us American blacks be having.
It's a lot of kids. Africans, they can't even grow an afro, man. They can't do it.
They can't grow afro. Have you
Understand.
ever seen an African with an afro? Have you? I haven't. And if they did have an afro, they'd be quick to cut it off. They're ashamed of it.
Right. We not the same people, man.
And if you, it's like if I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
if you went over to Africa and you say you're African, they will be quick to tell you, no, you're not an African. So if they know you're not an African, why don't you know you're an Israelite?
Right.
We're different people.
You know what I'm saying? We're not the same people, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because a nation, you know what I'm saying? Like some of you had said earlier, like they're now, you know what I'm saying, especially this white man, they call us Africans. You know what I'm saying? They've given us a byword. You know what I'm saying? They've given us something to replace our true nationality. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep us in the dark even further and have us believing that we're Africans. You know what I'm saying? And we're not Africans. You know what I'm saying? We've already stated that. You know what I'm saying? These records are ours. Go ahead.
Yes, lock it. Another thing that just hit me on the mind, it just said right here in verse 4 that the name of Israel may be in no more remembrance. So, in trying to find us and trying to remember who we are, we're constantly trying to find anything that seems like it may be us. So, because the Africans are dark skinned too, I gotta be an African. That's who I am. But because you don't truly know all the African cultures, or maybe you don't want to participate in all the African cultures, like the plate in your mouth, or the stretchy neck, or for the women cutting your clitoral area.
Right.
You try to include all these other cultures into yourself to be this whole complete different being, and to also to feel special. That's what's so funny. This book tells you special, and you do all these extra stuff to try to feel special. And no matter how you try to dumb it down, no, I'm not trying to feel special. I'm just trying to do what feels good to me. You're still trying to feel special. Whether it's special to yourself or special to someone else, you're still trying to feel special and different.
It's a lot of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to add, like, we're not Arabs either.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Muslims.
right, we're not Muslims, man. You know what I'm saying? That's an Arab religion. So there's no, you know what I'm saying? There would be no point in you yourself following an Arab religion when you're not an Arab.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You're an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna follow something, it'd be this Bible. You know what I'm saying? It'd be, your true nationality, man, which is an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Like,
Go ahead.
people seek to meditate to try to be at peace with is that the Muslim thing, the meditation? I don't know, but people seek to meditate to be at peace or whatever, when really all you gotta do is follow these law, statutes, and commandments, because the Most High is on your side. And when you have the Most High on your side, I mean, you're gonna have tests, but as long as you follow these statutes and commandments, you're not gonna be defeated. That should bring you some sort of peace. And also, if you're just so, if your mind's just clustered with so many things, we have the finest counselors in the school. A lot of brothers are quick to call General Muhammad. They supposed to talk to their captains and everything, but a lot of people they want the goat. They want the man who's known for great counseling. So a lot of people reach out to General Muhammad, and he get things fixed up. If you're looking for any kind of peace or serenity or whatever, what brings you more peace than being around family?
Right.
And when I say family, just quit thinking about the worldly version of family, that dysfunctional family that you can't stand to be around because cousin Ray did something or something like that. I'm talking about people you legitly can trust and understand where you're coming from and what you're going through. We all know we're in this world going through a spiritual battle, and it is not easy to fight. But you cannot win a war without an army.
Right.
And we trying to beat this whole world up by ourselves, and we just end up defeated and defeated and defeated. It's time to recruit an army. What better army to get than the army of the Lord?
Right.
And that's here in the school in the I.S.U.P.K. because we follow everything that is in this book. And that makes the Most High on our side. So if you get on our squad, you're going to have the Most High on your side. You're going to be at peace, and you're going to feel special because this book tells you you're special, and you have all the evidence in the book to tell you you're special.
You sure you plug that mug in?
So
Maybe I didn't plug it in. Hey, can you plug it in real quick?
Right.
Yeah, it's losing power.
Real quick.
Yeah. But yeah, man, read that next verse for me.
Con out of one con. And this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Right. So they've consulted together, you know what I'm saying, uh, with one consent. You know what I'm saying? The one consent is to destroy our whole nation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the one consent, man. You know what I'm saying? That we be destroyed and no longer in remembrance. You know what I'm saying? They want to get rid of the Israelites. They want to be on top now and see what it's like to be on top of the totem pole.
Such great passion to get rid of us.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do the best they can. Like how we stated before, they're gonna put pork in all the food, man. They're gonna do their best to get you to sin. So you stay at the bottom because they know if you're at the, if once you sin, you're going to go into captivity and you're going to be a good slave too. You know what I'm saying? That's why they, you know what I'm saying? It's in everything, man. The pork is in everything. And you know what I'm saying? It's this America is just one big illusion. It's like a constant brainwashing to get you to do wickedness, just to get you to sin. You know what I'm saying? This whole world is about you.
Gummy worms.
Gummy worms, man. The shit is over, man.
That pissed me off.
You better make you some organic gummy worms or something.
I've been looking.
You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you out of there.
I've been looking. If anybody know how to get a hold of some organic gummy worms, please let me know. My YAHANNA.
And give me
Please.
Second Ezra's 10 and 23.
The water.
You know what I'm saying?
Second Esdras
10 and 23.
10 and 23. The water.
You know, so it's our duty, man, that we come back to the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, we're gonna stay destroyed as a people. You know what I'm saying? It will never have our own thing. So go ahead and read that for me.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 10, verse 23. And which is the greatest of all? The seal of Sion have now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us.
Right. So we lost our honor, our seal. You know what I'm saying? Our dawadah. I'm saying right now our enemies have it. I'm saying those so-called Israelites who are not the real Jews. They have our seal. You know what I'm saying? Portraying to be us, you know what I'm saying, but they're not us. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to bring back our you know what I'm saying, our nation's pride into it, man. We gotta finally, you know what I'm saying, get the Lord, persuade the Lord to be on our side, and have all these other nations realize how great a nation we were. You know what I'm saying we you know, that's what it's gonna come down to. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, Salakia, they should already know how great of a nation we are. The thing is, we're trying to be greater because I don't want to say we're great without the Most High, but we be dominating. And
we're nothing without the Most High.
We're nothing without the Most High, but we're dominating in these sports. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about life. I'm
talking about life.
Nah, we ain't doing too well. Nah, hell nah. But in these sports, who got better hands than Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? In basketball, football, soccer, that is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And now I think recently we got somebody tearing it up on the ice in hockey. So we're great in everything except what we need to be great in. And that's soaring through life because we can't get through life without the Most High. We're in sorrow. We're in mourning without the Most High. We're constantly suffering without Him. We've been everybody's slave, and it's time to stop. You know what I'm saying? We've been everybody's slave.
Right.
We served everybody but ourselves. And it's time for a change. So, you know, Slacky on that misinterpretation, but nah, we ain't doing great in life. Or in little events that don't really mean nothing, we dominate. There's a little spark of who we are. Well, they know we great.
Salakia. I mean, you're right. It's a little spark. You know what I'm saying? Hardly a scratch on the surface. But it's nothing compared to if we were be in the full spirit, right, of who we are. You know what I'm saying? To be, you know, great in life, we're gonna need the Lord.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
David choked out a lion. A lion. If you've seen and really understand how big a lion is, David choked out a lion. Come on. Who you seeing choking out lions today? Who? Not a damn thing. Some people won't even be maybe 30 feet close to a lion without a pistol. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come on now. We can be so much greater than what we are, you know, and we settle for less. You know, we got drug dealers and everybody fighting over blocks that they don't own, that don't belong to them. You know?
Right.
And we can be greater than that.
Right.
We fighting over franchises that we really don't have no ownership in. We just asking for little crumbs when we're destined to rule a whole group amount of nations. We're supposed to be leaders over all nations, above them all. And we're just asking for crumbs.
So give me Tobit 4:19. Tobit. I'm saying it should be right before Judah.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like we said before, man, the way we become great is we seek counsel from our Heavenly Father. 4:19. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're gonna become great as a nation. Is if we come together and unify and do what the Lord has always told us to do from the beginning, to separate ourselves from other nations, you know what I'm saying, and to do his laws. And separating is a law. You know what I'm saying? So is unifying. So if we were to do that, you know what I'm saying, we'd be great in life. We'd be doing well in life.
You want to capitalize on that? Stop. You want to capitalize on that? Like, separation is the law, but so is unifying. You kind of put them together, it might confuse somebody.
Right. Well, I mean, when I'm saying separate, if you're going to separate, you don't separate yourself into another nation. You separate yourself from first. Being holy means to separate. You know what I'm saying? So when you separate yourself and you come back to your own people, you know what I'm saying? That's also unifying. That's, you know what I'm saying? You start doing the laws, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You become a people again. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of separating. You don't separate yourself into to being an individual. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to separate yourself, then also unify into your own people, not to separate yourself and then become an individualite. You had something you want to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, in really, in summary, love your people.
Right.
We need more love than anybody on this earth. I mean, when white people, they save. I mean, even they homeless, they save. Because all they got to do is make a little pity face and they might get something, an apple or something. You let a homeless black man come to the car, that's a scary sight to a lot of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Love your kinsmen according to the flesh. We need, what is wrong with loving your own people more? You already do it with families. I mean, let's think about your neighborhood. You know, let's say this is the Smith family, this is the Jones family. The Jones family don't have more love for the Smith families than they do their own family. They love Jones. Jones come first.
Right.
You know? So
in Salakia, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lord has only known this family. You know what I'm saying? You could really say the Lord is part of your family because he's your heavenly father.
Big Papa.
You know what I'm saying? He's part of your family. So, you know what I'm saying? So,
Big Papa, man.
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he's our heavenly father. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? If you want something, you go to your father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really have the means ourselves to get anything. Anything we get is from the Lord.
Right.
So if we're going to get anything, you know, we're to ask our heavenly father for it. You know what I'm saying? Which lets you realize how important it is to do these laws, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only way the Lord's going to hear you is if you're actually doing the laws. You know what I'm saying? If you're sinning, your prayer is now an abomination. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and read Tobit 4:19 for me.
Khan out of one Khan. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 19. Trying to find myself. There we go. Verse 19. Bless the Lord thy God always, and desire of him that thy ways may be directed, and that all thy paths and counsels may prosper.
Right.
For every nation hath not counsel, but the Lord himself giveth all good things.
Right. So hold on. So not every nation has counsel, which means they don't, you know, all other nations, they can't go to a god, their god or whatever, and it actually do something, because their gods are wood and stone. You know what I'm saying? They could go to their wood and stone all day, you know what I'm saying? But Buddha not gonna do nothing. Buddha just gonna sit his ass there. You know what I'm saying? Right. So he's not gonna do anything. But our God, we can seek counsel for our Lord. You know what I'm saying? So keep going.
And he humbleth whom he will, as he will. Now therefore, my son, remember my commandments, neither let them be put out of thy mind.
Right. So he was saying he's gonna humbleth who he will. You know what I'm saying? He's like quoting scripture. He's like going precept, because he's going like, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna have mercy who he's gonna have mercy.
Right.
And compassion who he's gonna have compassion. That's why he said, desire him that thy ways may be directed. You know what I'm saying? Do desire that you go the proper way. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to have that mercy and compassion on you.
It's like, this is also saying like everybody can't be a part of this family without first succumbing to these law, statutes, and commandments. And really, you need to be blood. It's speaking to your family. All you gotta do is bring Buddha a fortune cookie. It ain't, I don't think there's any stories about Buddha. But everybody know about our God.
Right.
Everybody know what he has done for us. And everybody don't know nothing about Buddha. And our nation shouldn't want it, because we only follow one God. We ain't worried about nobody else. These false idols.
A lot. I mean, that's a great point you made. Like, nobody knows. I mean, people know about Buddha, but everybody knows about, you know what I'm saying, the God of Israel and Christ. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people worship our God and you know what I'm saying, and still don't know what they really worship. But they know there's power in this book. You know what I'm saying? Because there's still things going on, things that still have to be fulfilled in this book. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know our power is a real power. You know what I'm saying? So they go ahead and worship our power too. You know what I'm saying? Hoping the Lord shows them mercy and favor.
It's like it. And those that envy our power,
right?
They're trying to put out into the internet and airwaves that this is all made up.
Right.
This don't even exist. And that's really trying to give the white man more credit. That some group of white men was so smart to make up this whole story about our God. White people ain't smart enough to not stick their head in an open alligator's mouth,
Right. The white man not smart enough to create this Bible. He's just not. I mean, he's had over 400 years of free slavery from us, and he's still not the richest race, the richest nation on the planet. Like, he's just retarded. Anything he touches is just, you know what I'm saying? White man's a virus, man. He's the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
So anything he does, it's going to be trash.
Anything he touches, he destroys.
Right. Because he's a virus.
Animals, space. How do you pollute space?
Right. So if you could, go ahead, jump down to 21. That'll be the last scripture.
Khan Adawan Khan. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 21. And fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth. If thou fear God and depart from all sin and do which is pleasing in his sight.
You know what I'm saying? So we're poor, but we're rich because we have the Lord on our side. You know what I'm saying? If we do everything the Lord says, you know what I'm saying, and keep them scriptures in our minds and in our hearts, you know what I'm saying, we're going to prosper no matter what, because we're going to have the Lord on our side. that's our wealth. You know what I'm saying? These scriptures, these commandments, that's our wisdom. You know, so it doesn't matter what our financial status is or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Once we come together under the Lord, you know what I'm saying, we're going to get all that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? As long as you stay with the Lord, we'll always prosper and always. Anything you want to add?
I said it before in previous classes that your wealth is within your family anyway, you know, within the people you reach. Because if you knew 1,000 people that was for you and you needed $1,000 and you asked $1 from those 1,000 people and they gave it to you with no problem, you have $1,000. And the math only grows from there.
Right.
If it was 1 million of us and you just asked for $1 from 1 million people, you're now a millionaire. So put that numbers toward producing fruit through this knowledge and doing more with and for your people, and you will have a rich nation again.
Right.
You know, we have a lot of people who know how to do gardening, hair, clothes, food, the skills that is within our nation is a great amount. So we just concentrated those skills and that love within our family, within our nation. We'd be so much great. We're rich,
Right.
with numbers. So let's just get back to these law, statutes, and commandments and be a great nation again.
Right.
You will see your kingdom of heaven because the kingdom of heaven is within you. So just bring your portion.
All right. So, you know what I'm saying, with that, I'm saying this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, starting 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General YAHANNA. I'm saying we're not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. You know what I'm saying, also check out Just Laundry Products. I'm saying, remember to pay your camp funds and your tithes. All right, and Shalom Yahweh Shem Yahushai to the brothers, and Shalom Yahweh Shemal Atah to the sisters.
Shalom. Get you some fourth dimension.